The old cliche is that one moment can change everything. Once an individual who never thought of running cross country or track and field, a defining moment in high school for Adelphi student athlete Rachel Tucci transformed that path forever.
I have a twin sister. She was like, let's do track together and we'll both be throwers. But during volleyball tryouts, we had to do timed miles, and the track coaches got like a hand of my time mile. It wasn't even that quick, but for not training or whatever, they loved it. So I signed up as a shot putter, and the first day they were like, yeah, you're doing distance. And I was so sad. Like, I cried. I was like, I hate this. But after I did a couple races, I ended up just like loving it, and it just like changed everything.
They had to run a mile for the tryout, and I think you had to run a mile under 12 minutes. So I think she ran it in 6 to 7 minutes. And Jessica, which is her sister, special ed teacher, was her track coach. So she's like, oh, you're doing winter track, Jess? To her sister. And she said, why don't you get your sister to run track for us, because I hear she runs a good mile. Rachel wanted to know nothing about it.
My goal was to try out for the kick line team again that year. I wasn't serious about track or anything. So I tried out for the kick line team. I didn't make it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try cross country. Like, I was a distance runner. Let's give it a shot. And I ended up loving it. And that's kind of where the track and field came in, cross country.
Before long, Rachel was an all-county distance runner at Mepham High School. This ultimately got the attention of college programs around the area, and even more specifically, Adelphi.
So when I was recruiting Rachel out of high school, I am friendly with her high school coach at the time. So I think he had put her on like my radar and said, I think she would be a great athlete, you know, for your program. I think like you could work really well with her, that she would respond really well to you. I had known him for kind of years, so I think he kind of pointed her in, you know, in my direction, and then her in our direction. It was really like, I went to go see her race, and, you know, she was a tough racer. Like, it was clear that she knew how to, you know, push herself. Yeah, she was just like a good racer. She loved the sport. She was like very passionate about running, you know, and talking to her, like she, you know, she just loved it. You know, she was willing to work hard. You know, we look for that in like a lot of the athletes. Like, she wants to work hard. She wants to get better. She wants to know what to do to get better. And so all of those things were really like spoke to me as like the type of athlete that like I would want to coach.
So I mostly came to Adelphi because of Coach Reese, honestly, because I know where you don't have a ton of facilities or anything, but to be a runner you don't need all those facilities. And she just made me feel like really comfortable when I came. And like, as soon as I came, like, I told her I was dealing with this, and I've never told anyone like in my life outside of my family before, so I just knew I felt comfortable. And that was the main reason why I came to Adelphi.
It all took a turn, though, back in high school, where as a result of feeling excluded, Rachel began developing an unhealthy lifestyle that would severely affect both Rachel's physical and mental state.
As like during that time, and like before that, I always felt like left out more because of my shyness. But in my head, as time went on, I started to register maybe it was because my weight, maybe because I didn't look like the other girls. So in my head, that was like the first thing to change, I guess. And even though that's not true at all, but at that time in my life, like, middle school was a hard time, and just like not looking like everyone else, and I guess being shown that through people not wanting to have conversations with you, and you're just feeling left out. This was like, I guess, trying to get like a quick fix of fitting in. And that definitely led into my eating disorder, because it was like the way of like handling it.
She came to me. I didn't notice it before, other than, you know, I'm gonna eat healthy. I'm not gonna eat fried food anymore. I'm not gonna eat fast food anymore. So I thought that was normal. You know, I never experienced anything like this before. And then when she cried out for help in 10th grade, now she had said that it really started in 8th grade. So that was 2 years I didn't catch on, because, you know, I guess I looked at an eating disorder as the child just doesn't eat, or the person just doesn't eat. But she was eating, but she wasn't eating enough. She wasn't, and she was battling.
especially in sophomore year when things got really bad. I couldn't make it up the stairs at school or anything. Like, I couldn't focus. I was getting like bad grades and everything because I couldn't like think properly. And like at the end of sophomore year, I was just like miserable, and I was like, I know like things are gonna get like a lot worse. So that's when I ended up telling my mom and like asking for help.
She cried out in 10th grade. I remember where she was and what she was eating, a bowl of grapes at the time. And she was like, I need help. I can't eat. And I knew nothing about the disorder. And that's when we started to investigate. And we found a group of awesome doctors. And they followed her case for years. And then she ended up in program. And that's when she really started to get help.
I was like, am I gonna ruin all of this for like that? And like, that's hard to like, I remember sitting in the doctor's office and just being like right before like the doctor's appointment where I got diagnosed with anorexia, and I was like, why am I here? Like, it's just like your head convinces you that like you have nothing wrong when things are clearly wrong. And I think that was just like a really big turning point. And like, thank goodness I had a great doctor, because like that doctor took away running and it made me realize how much I loved it.
A disorder that now continued to consume Rachel in college, it was a fateful day at Van Cortlandt Park, her freshman year, that started to fuel her recovery.
It comes down to within 300 meters to go, I just see Rachel come out of the woods, and then I'm racing towards like the last like 150, 200 meters, and I don't see Rachel. I go in and I'm trying to find her, and I don't see her at all. Next thing you know, I go and I see my coach sprinting across the field, and then I go in afterwards and I see Rachel completely pass out on the floor. And then to me, I'm like, what happened? How did this happen? She was running a well-executed race. The next thing you know, she's on the floor.
Going into Van Cortlandt, I probably didn't fuel and hydrate as well as I should have, and I paid the price for that. I collapsed with 200 meters to go in the race, and that was just like kind of a breaking point for it. That's when I had to tell some of my teammates like what happened and everything.
It's not just about like what fitness you're in, it's about how you set yourself up well to perform well on that given day. And so it was clear that at least for that day, she hadn't done the right thing. So we were trying to identify, how could she do stuff better, to set that up. I think right after that, either a day or two later, is when I think she finally told me that it was like a larger problem, that she had been dealing with that for a number of years coming into college. And she kind of gave me the background on, what she had done to see a nutritionist and, to speak to doctors and to try to help herself overcome that.
After talking with doctors, Rachel ultimately entered into an outpatient program for treatment, but back on campus, a trusting friendship formed to help Rachel overcome her fear of food.
When Gabe approached me, I feel like it wasn't like, he didn't come up to me and be like, let's do this together. It was kind of like we would eat lunch, he'd be like, if you get this, I'll get this kind of thing. And like, that just happened almost every meal after that. Like, I'll get ice cream if you get ice cream and stuff like that. And that just carried on. We still do it till this day. But like, it was just a way of like having someone, like realizing that like the food is not gonna hurt you. Like, you're allowed to enjoy food, and food is fuel. It's not anything other than that. And just doing it with someone made it like 10 times easier. And he just happened to be the person that did it with me and helped me out a lot.
So yeah, in regards to the fear of foods, one thing that definitely helped with Rachel's journey was trying something new every single week, or something that she had a label of fear over it, right? Due to the excessive calories, or she didn't feel that it would help her as an athlete. So one of the goals that we had was to go in and meet up once a week, either for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and just try any fear food that she had. And one of them was a burger and french fries. So one of the steps that I went and had us do together was try a burger and french fries. And with that, we went to Burger Spot, and that's something that I went and I did with her, because I didn't want her to go through that whole process by herself. I wanted her to know that, right, even myself as an athlete, I can still enjoy all the foods that I'd like to eat, right, and not label them as bad, and she could still use that to even enjoy and help her as well too. She didn't need to have a label over burger and fries as bad. If that's something that she wanted to eat, it's something that she should be allowed to eat.
While the recovery is continually ongoing, Rachel's progress has brought about a realization of what matters most.
After being injured for 2.5 years from like 7 injuries, I just never would have thought like I'd be running again. So it's just like like running is like kind of a painful sport. So like when I feel the pain, I'm like, I just never thought I was going to be doing this again. And like I never thought I was going to be running the times that I am now and everything. And then even if I wasn't running the times I am now, like I never thought I was going to be running again at like this level. So it honestly is breathtaking, resilient. Like I feel that because I just never thought it was going to happen again.
Having multiple injuries over and over just as you're coming back from the last one, just to get hit with another one, and then saying, all right, well, we're going to work through it just like we did the last one, and we're going to keep our head up, even though it might be hard. Words can't really describe how proud I am of her for going through all that and coming out on the other side successful and a better person as a result.
Her progress is huge. She's learned how to get over all types of hurdles in life because of her situation. You know, there's always mountains we got to climb in life, and at one point I think she wouldn't have gotten there on her own, but now she can, and she's made amazing progress. You know, I think she's learned a lot through it. I mean, it's still a battle every day, but she can get through it now.
I think like Rachel being able to be so open and honest about like her story and what she's struggled with, it just helps to open the path for others to feel comfortable to do the same. And you know, as I said earlier, like she is just so honest with everybody about, you know, what she's gone through. She doesn't try to hide it or sugarcoat it or say I'm fine when I'm not, you know, which a lot of athletes, you know, will do. And I think her being able to say when she was struggling and be honest about it, it helps like open the door to have a conversation to help find like what the solution might be.